The Science of Sticky. Learning, Death Note Edition. Imagine you are the top student in the country. Whether you remember one tiny detail you studied a month ago determines the success of your entire plan. In 2006, researchers took two groups of students. Both received the exact same materials. But 1 month later, one group performed significantly better on tests. They weren't smarter. They simply understood a hidden glitch in the human brain that most people completely ignore. Today, we're breaking down that secret and 3 science-backed techniques that can dramatically improve how you learn. Because if you study for 10 hours, but remember nothing, what's the point? To fix your study habits, we first need to look under the hood. When you first hear a fact, it's temporarily stored in the hippocampus. Think of it like a sticky note thrown onto a messy desk. For that information to become a lasting memory, it has to move into the neocortex, the brain's long-term storage system. And this transfer happens during the one thing students sacrifice the most: sleep. While you sleep, the brain literally replays neural connections, strengthening them over and over again. But the brain is also ruthless. If information seems unimportant, it gets deleted, which means cramming all night before an exam is almost the perfect strategy, if your goal is forgetting everything a week later. The first technique is called active retrieval, and honestly, this is where most students fail. People love rereading notes, highlighting textbooks, watching the same lecture again and again. It feels productive. But scientists call this the illusion of competence. The information feels familiar only because it's constantly in front of your eyes. Recognition is not memory. The real solution is much harder. Close the book. Then force yourself to recall the information from memory. Use flashcards. Write everything you remember on a blank sheet. Explain the concept out loud without looking at your notes. Because the struggle to remember is exactly what strengthens the memory itself. Your brain treats retrieval like a signal. This information matters. Keep it. The second technique is interleaving, or as I like to call it, controlled chaos. Most students study in blocks. 10 algebra problems, then 10 geometry problems, then 10 history questions. The problem is that the brain quickly switches into autopilot. You stop thinking. You start following patterns. But when you constantly switch between different topics or problem types, the brain is forced to reset every single time. It has to stop and ask, wait, which strategy do I use here? That tiny moment of confusion is powerful, because difficulty is often a sign that real learning is happening. Easy studying feels good. Effective studying feels uncomfortable. The final technique is the most important long-term: spaced repetition. Back in that 2006 study, the losing group tried to learn everything in one day. The winning group studied for the same total amount of time, but spread it across several weeks. That one change made a massive difference. Because the brain works like a muscle. You can't go to the gym for 24 straight hours on Sunday and expect to become strong by Monday. Memory works the same way. Every time you revisit information right before you're about to forget it, the neural connection becomes stronger. Again, and again, and again, until remembering becomes automatic. That's why studying 15 minutes a day for a week is usually far more effective than one exhausting 7-hour session. So, stop just reading. Start testing yourself. Mix your subjects. Respect the gaps between study sessions. Your brain is basically a biological supercomputer, but even the best hardware still needs the right software. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.